So Jill and I want to welcome everyone here this evening. Happy New Year. Welcome to our second speakers event. My wife a few weeks ago said to me, we were talking about this event and things to say, and she said, "Oh, Andrew, just on a footnote, do you know that the century, it's 1/5 gone? It's 20% of it is gone. The 2000s are 20% gone." And I thought, wow, if that doesn't make me feel old, what does? Immediately started calculating how old I would be in the next 20 years, and I figured time's moving fast. This thing called life is moving quick, and we got to live every day like it's our last. Okay, so everyone loves to talk about real estate. That's why we're here. Back in December, Jill and I took a quick 5-day trip down to Maui, escaped the rain. We were sitting around the pool at the hotel, and there were two couples next to us from Vancouver talking about the real estate market. Go figure. It was fun to eavesdrop on the topic on the beach in Hawaii. I always say, whether at a cocktail party, watching the kids play soccer, at the community pool, and yes, on the beach in Hawaii, everyone loves to talk about the Vancouver real estate market. Okay, so back to real estate itself. Let's take a look back at 2019, a year ago. We started off the year with record low sales activity. Of course, it had nothing to do with economic conditions. The slowdown was caused by an onslaught of new taxes and government regulations that caused uncertainty amongst buyers and sellers. Everyone wanted to see what the result of all the new taxes and regulations would do to the market. Since the peak of 2017, house prices have fallen anywhere from 10% to as high as about 30%. The market most reliant on foreign buyers has been the hardest hit, with prices in the luxury markets down anywhere from 25 to 30%. Homes that were selling for $6 million can now be purchased for a little over $4 million. Some pretty big price drops. And if you're looking for the deals, that's where the big deals are in the high end. There's a home really close to here. I was looking at it. It just came back on MLS. I think it came back on the market for the 5th time. And it just got listed for 4.1. I did some checking, and it originally entered the market 2 years ago at 7.2. So just give you an idea sort of what's happened in the market in that amount of time. And Jill said to me, "Oh, those poor homeowners, they must be so sick of all the showings." I said, no, Jill, that house is vacant like a lot of those houses. At the more affordable end of the market, prices are down anywhere from 10 to 15%, but in the past 6 months, we've actually seen some sub-market prices firming back up. We entered 2019 with many markets seeing 20-plus months of supply. This is known as a buyer's market. Prices tend to fall if we see 9 months of supply or greater for a period of 3 months or longer. In real terms, that means if no new homes come to the market, it would take 20 months or nearly 2 years to sell all the built-up inventory. That's a 20-month supply market. 2019 saw record low sales activity all the way until June. I figure that any brave souls that bought from February to June of last year, they nailed the bottom of the market. The traditional busy spring market was anything but. All of a sudden, kids got out of school at the end of June. July hit, and we noticed a pickup in sales. The pickup accelerated into the late summer, into the fall, and right towards the end of 2019. Buyer confidence was returning. We finished the year around 9 to 10 months of supply for West Side houses and closer to 4 months supply for West Side condos. The East Side had even a tighter market conditions to close out the year. I think East Side condos were down around 2 months supply. So that's technically what we call a seller's market, where you've got pent-up demand and very limited supply. So we moved from a buyer's market to a more balanced market, and in some sub-markets back to a seller's market by the end of the year. From mid-October onward, every home that Jill and I either sold or helped our clients buy went into multiple offers. I think there were 8 or 9 transactions. Everyone was in multiple offers. The second half of 2019 saw a big resurgence of buyers. Why? We feel buyers, after realizing the market was not crashing, interest rates were still rock bottom, and house prices had fallen, this was an opportune time to buy. Many of these buyers had been waiting for over a year to buy and decided it was time to get on with their lives and get back into the market. So, how is the market today? Well, if the past week is any indication, Jill and I were involved in 3 offer situations in the past 5 days. And despite horrible weather, all 3 properties went into multiple offers. The price range for all 3 of those properties was under $1.5 million. And it tells you that we feel there's a lot of pent-up demand in the marketplace. We feel 2020 is going to get off to a busy start. Putting things into perspective, 2018 and 19, we saw record low sales not seen in submarkets for the past 20 years. We're now seeing sales activity back to 10-year average levels, which feels a lot busier than the rock bottom sales of the past 2 years. Combined with increased demand, we are still seeing very low inventories. The imbalance can very quickly create seller's market conditions and increasing prices. That is what we've seen for condos and houses on the east side, where well-priced, clean properties are getting snapped up quickly. I think 2020 sees a healthy market with prices firming up in many submarkets and in some cases showing price gains of anywhere up to about 10% from the market bottom. The market we are in now is much more influenced by local buyers, resulting in a much more stable market environment. Although no one has a crystal ball, for anyone thinking of selling their home, getting to the market anytime from February through late April is always a great time. While last year's spring market was a non-event, we feel due to the flurry of buyers and sales we are already seeing, this year we'll see markets returning to more seasonal norms with a traditionally busy late winter spring market. The media is already starting to put a more positive spin on the real estate market. This alone will spur confidence amongst buyers and sellers. So, for those thinking of selling a property, we're advising take this time to make sure that your home is market ready before placing it on the market for sale. A great way to do this is to have a pre-listing home inspection performed on your home. For $300 to $500, this is a great way to identify any issues before going to the market and having them addressed prior to listing. I promise you this can save thousands of dollars to the homeowner and a lot of hassle versus having the buyer's home inspector finding the issues and either losing a sale or having the buyers try to renegotiate the price. We're happy to recommend a few good home inspectors should you want to go that route. Another pre-listing suggestion is to simply repair and address any issues you simply know about. We see a lot of homeowners rush their properties to the market and they leave, downspouts that are leaking, the gutters are clogged, there's wood rot on the stairs, the walkways are green and moldy from all the mildew over the winter, there's broken roof shingles, the boiler or service is clunking, grout and silicone in the bathrooms is moldy, and of course there's extensive, in our yard anyway, the raccoons have had a field day. They've torn my yard apart, so fix the grass. So first impression is everything. The idea is to bring your home to the market in top-notch condition. This is how you sell for the best price. If you have an old roof, say 20 years old, and do not want to replace it, but it's pretty obvious it's going to need replacing in the next year or two, get a quote from a qualified, reputable roofer so you can pass the quote on to the buyer. This is a great way to help avoid the buyer trying to negotiate $25,000 off the price for a new roof when you've got a quote for $15,000. We see that all the time. The seller always underestimates the cost, and the buyer always pads the cost. We prefer to work with real numbers. We had a property we were selling on the east side just before Christmas. It was a half duplex. The home inspector noted a little bit of a leak with the hot tub. The buyer through the realtor called me and said, Andrew, the property needs a new hot tub. We want $10,000 off, and then we'll remove the subjects. We said, no, we'll fix the hot tub. After a lot of back and forth, the buyer agreed to allow us to just fix it, and it was a $500 repair instead of a $10,000 adjustment in the price. So we urge clients before putting their homes on the market, get all the deficiencies taken care of, save you a lot of hassle. The bottom line, get your home market ready. You get paid for pride of ownership. And yes, we've got great people we can recommend for you to bring in and help with the maintenance, repairs, and quotes. Lastly, BC property assessments. We all received them a couple of weeks ago and noticed some sizable drops in our values. That is just BC assessment catching up to what has been 2+ years of price declines. Also keep in mind, those values are based on July 2019, which we feel was the market bottom. If you want to challenge your assessment, I believe you have until the end of January to file an appeal. If you have any questions about your assessment, we're happy to help. Keep in mind, if you are selling this year, we think it's better to have a higher assessment, so think twice about getting it reduced. So everybody, that's my market update, short and sweet. After the event this evening, if you have any questions, feel free to approach, or you can call or email Jill and myself anytime. We're absolutely more than happy to be of help. That's why we're here. And I'm going to ask Jill to come up and introduce our fabulous guest speaker.